The baby possessed Saiyans are finally on Dokkan, but should you summon? How's it everybody, Celtic Link here. We are back for another Dokkan Battle video. In today's video, we are answering that age-old question. Should you summon for the upcoming INT LR Omen of Destruction Super Saiyan Gohan and Goten Possessed GT? These are the first of their kind. I don't think anybody expected us to have the Possessed Saiyans as a summonable unit, but here we are. So in this video, we're going to break down whether or not you should summon by looking at the following three things. Number one, we'll look at the unit itself. Is the unit strong enough to justify a summon on their banner? Then we'll take a look, of course, at the banner. No unit exists alone. They are on a banner. And is that banner going to be good enough to justify parting your ways with your stones at so close to the end of 2025? And then finally, speaking of the end of 2025, we will be looking at what lies ahead. If we give up our stones now, what are the things we could be losing in the coming future? So, without further ado, let's go ahead, let's jump on in, and let's take a look at the unit itself. So, they do lead Corroded Body and Mind and join forces for category key 3, HP attack defense 200%. They are a yellow coin LR and will be on a yellow coin LR banner. On their 18 key, they greatly raise attack and defense for 3 turns, causing make loss of damage and greatly lowering attack. On their 12 key, they are greatly raising attack and defense for 3 turns, and causing colossal damage and lowering attack. So they have an interesting attack loop because they do raise attack 3 times on their 18 key and on their 12 key. So basically, as you continue to get their additional supers, they'll sort of loop between 2 attack and defense. It's interesting the way it works because the double turn attack stacks. But it does mean that you do have to kind of pay attention to which turn you're on for your attacks, so you can know exactly what their defense is. Moving on, they have an entrance animation that can be activated when there's another Corroded Body and Mind ally on the team upon his entry turn. They have 10% evasion for 1 turn and 10% evasion for 3 turns. On their basic effect, they have a 50% chance to evade and keep 3 attack defense up 250%. When there is another Corroded Body and Mind ally attacking the same turn, they get key 3 and evasion 20%. For attacking, they have an additional evasion 10%. After evading an attack, they will launch an additional super attack. For every attack evaded, they get key 1 up to 5, attack 30% up to 150%, defense 50% up to 250%, and when attacking with 18 or more key, they get an additional attack with a 70% chance to become a super attack. And when attacking with 24 key, they get 100% attack and give Corroded Body and Mind allies 20% defense. They do have an active skill that gives them key 5, attack 30, and attacks effectiveness on all types, and evading enemies' attacks guaranteed for the turn. It can be activated once after they evade an attack. So basically the way this works is, right, on turn 1 they have that 50%, and with Corroded Body and Mind they have an additional 20%, so that's a 70% chance to evade right there. Before attacking, they have an additional 10%, meaning they have 90% chance to evade just on their basic effects if you put them in slot 1 with Corroded Body and Mind. Now, for their entrance animation, if you are able to activate it with Corroded Body and Mind, which of course you can if you are activating this portion, for their first turn they will have an additional 10%, so they'll have 90% plus another 10%. They could potentially have 100% for that first turn in slot 1. After that, drops down, you lose that 10%, and then you have an additional 90% for 3 turns, and then it drops down to 80% after that. But, I mean, in all honesty, that's still pretty darn good, right? In short fights, just pretty much going to cover you for the whole fight. But of course, that does assume you are going to put them before attacking. If you don't want to do that, then it's still a 90% chance to evade, which is still pretty good. And I do want to mention that my calcs that I gave for them before are actually significantly lower, right? It's actually, I think we capped them out at like 2.5 mil, but it's actually almost, I believe the correct calcs place them almost close to 4.5 and 10 on the active skill turn, so it's actually pretty good for a dodge unit, I mind you. So honestly, pretty good, honestly. The only thing is they are limited essentially to the corroded body and mind team, which for the time being essentially means you must have Dokkan Fest, baby, because there's no other leader for the category. The most recent leader for the category, besides baby, is Fizz Rose, right? Beyond that, right, we're going back to 170 and 150 leads. So unfortunately, that does mean that unless you have the brand new Dokkan Fest baby, probably not going to be the unit for you. That's just the reality of this unit. They are exactly what a yellow coin LR should be. They are, while hyper specifically designed to help out the Dokkan Fest, and in this case it is the corroded body and mind Dokkan Fest baby. So unfortunately, due to that fact, due to them being highly limited in their usage, I think this is the first time on the unit alone I have to give the recommendation of a no summon, with the caveat that unless you have the Dokkan Fest baby. And if you don't have baby, then obviously this is a big fat no-go. But the unit itself is pretty good, as long as it is on that team. So that's one. So that is one no for the unit. So that still does leave the other two, right? Possibly the banner could be in a good position, but let's take a look here. So, the banner for them should follow previous legendary summon banners, right? So the most recent legendary summon banner we got was the LRTN, and it was a 10 featured unit with 3 featured LRs, right? 1 new one, 2 old ones. So if we are to assume that it'll be similar enough, then we already know who the 2 LRs are going to be. One of them is going to be LR17, who got his EZA, and he was specifically already mentioned in his EZA details that he would be featured on an upcoming banner. This is that upcoming banner. Secondly, right, we already know that AGL Majin Vegeta will be getting his Super EZA, which means that he is very likely to be the second LR on the category. So that means that that's pretty much going to be your banner, right? If we look at this banner here with the Tien Shinhan, so you're going to have, the Possessed Saiyans, you're going to have 17, and you're going to have Majin Vegeta, and then you're going to have 7 other random SSRs, more than likely just random SSRs pulled here from Corroded Body and Mind. So probably things like the Hellfighter 17, maybe like the Bardock or the Tech Majin Vegeta, maybe even like the Metal Cooler, or I could see Int Baby being on here on this banner, as well as maybe like actually at this point maybe Fizz Deborah. That's actually pretty much it. So they'll probably dip into GT bosses for the rest of it, or Battle of Fate, which was Dokkan Fest Baby's secondary lead. If not, they could dip into Join Forces, although for TURs there aren't too many banner unit options. Maybe like the Goten. Actually, they could probably drop the Goten and Trunks and the Gohan and Goten GT. That's possible. That would kind of fit thematically with who they are, but otherwise I don't really see too much value out of that. So looking at the possibility of the banner there, the banner's not going to be that great either. Majin Vegeta is pretty good, 17 is excellent, but again, both of these are contingent on having the Dokkan Fest baby. Majin Vegeta, I mean, if we kind of take a look at him here real quick, I mean, he's not bad, and they did significantly alter his conditions. Does it show his Super Easy A here? That's his. Does it not show his Super Easy A details here? There it is. There it is. Yeah, okay, so his Super Easy A details, that's his Easy A details. What's going on here? Hang on. Alright, got it. So they actually fixed it. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, I mean, so he is pretty good, right? They fixed his main condition, right? So when you are 60% or less, you get attack 600%, as long as there is another Majin Buu ally attacking in the same turn, or Majin Buu enemy, or if you have an ally who includes Bulma, Trunks, or Goku, right? So basically, I mean, you could run him on the year 10 team and he would fit just fine, right? You know, the Tech Majin Vegeta, or not Tech Majin Vegeta, the Tech Vegeta would easily activate his conditions. So that's actually pretty good for him. So honestly, he's pretty good, but I mean, not worth chasing considering he's been free multiple times this year, and is likely to be free again during the 11th anniversary coming up, and also likely to be on other legendary summon banners, especially the New Year's step up. So unfortunately for the banner, there really isn't much worth chasing here, so I have to give a no on the banner. So that's 2 down, which is pretty much a no summon now. My overall rating can already tell you it's not really going to matter what lies ahead because we've already got 2 down for the no summon. Both no for the units and no for the banner. But just so you understand what is coming up and what, if you decide to dip into this banner, what you are giving up, right? So the next Dokkan Fest should be coming up here by the 28th of the month, or the 30th, right? And so last year this was Dokkan Fest Lord Slug, and it'll pretty much be its own celebration for the entire month, right? It's gonna be a really slow month, so you're giving up pretty much access to the next Dokkan Fest. Now we don't really know what they're gonna fill the remainder of the month with. Last year that was Dragon Ball Heroes, but of course we know there is no more Dragon Ball Heroes, so we don't know what they're gonna do with the second half of the month. They could add in another Yellow Coin LR. After all, we are down a Yellow Coin LR due to the addition of Kale and Caulifla as a new Carnival LR. So they could add in another that, or just do something else entirely. Either way, it's not really going to be affecting what you summon on here. Following that, we'll have the Dokkan Fest and the Carnival LR for December. The Carnival LR will be a double rate, so that'll be a little bit better for you. But those aren't really the main draw for the rest of the year. In fact, the main draw for the rest of the year is going to be the New Year's Step Up. If you decide to dip into the banner for the Gohan and Goten Possessed, right? Understand that you are giving up your access to the New Year's Step Up. And I say that because you do need at least 200 stones to do a full step. Now last year they split it between Legendary Summon Carnival and Dokkan Fest, and I imagine they're going to do the same thing. And so if you're a player anywhere, I would say between 1 to 3 years, this is probably an incredibly valuable banner for you. I know a lot of people still say that, like, oh my, power creep this year, and even I have sort of recognized that there's been a significant jump. That doesn't mean that what's going to be on this banner is not going to be valuable for you after all, right? Like, you know, it had units all the way up until you know, August of this year, which means you're still going to have units that are going to be valuable in the current content. Plus, right, even the Tanabata units. So last year that was the UI Goku and the Jiren, which means it's very likely we could see either the GDC units placed onto here, or even the Tech Gogeta and Frieza placed on here. Hard to say exactly if they follow suit from last year. It should be Tech Gogeta and Frieza, but could be slightly different. But the point is, if you summon on this, on these guys' banner, you're giving up your access to that, which you really don't want to do, because this is the last place you should even consider summoning before the anniversary, which will only be a month from the release of this banner come New Year's Eve. So just wanted to throw that out there. Now, I will say that if you are pay to play, low to play, there are going to be Legendary Summon Premium tickets, which means you get your 20 unit multis with a guaranteed feature. So if you're pay to play, low to play, that is going to be ideal. It will have the typical pity banner setup with 2 summons, and then your third one is guaranteed featured. But again, if you're not pay to play or low to play, I don't recommend summoning. So my overall recommendation, I don't give this recommendation often, but due to the high specificity for this unit and requiring to be on the Corroded Body and Mind team, and being so close to the end of the year, and giving up possible access to New Year's banner, or possibly the next New Year's unit, who could be like Daima or something, which I know a lot of people are waiting for, I have to give a full no recommendation, which I don't normally do. So guys, that is it for the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and in the comments down below, let us know, will you be summoning for these guys? Again, my big recommendation is, unless you really like the Possessed Saiyans team, right, the baby team, then I do not recommend summoning for this. There's too much value coming up here at the end of the year with the step ups, or even leaning into New Year's and the anniversary, which everybody should be really saving for at this point. So but if you plan on summoning, let us know how much you plan on doing in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.